Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for Magnificent Mondays. I really love Mondays because of Magnificent Mondays, and I thought we should start this, and so did Lori, so that we could support you guys as we go along. We want the Greatest You Revolution Facebook group and our community through email to be the most powerful that you guys can be. It's one reason why we're moving our or closing down the Self-Love Revolution group soon in the new year, because we want to focus on this. So if you're not over in the Greatest You, come on over. We have talks on Tuesdays and Mondays and a lot more coming to support you. So today we're going to talk about what is body, mind, and spirit when it is fully activated. So thinking about body, mind, and spirit, have you ever thought about it in the terms of the perfect Trinity? Now, we're not talking about religious beliefs. We're talking about, the triangle, the connection between body, mind, and spirit. And this is the greatest way to keep yourself moving and activated. So what is body, mind, and spirit activation? When we are aligned, and we're going to talk about how to get there, but when we are aligned with our body, and which means our self-awareness, our self-love of body or body love, excuse me, removing any traumas. This may be the first time you heard this, but your body definitely keeps the score on any trauma that was created through visual, through seeing. It settles into your body. So that is a powerful place to be aware of so that you can shift and change. So what is the mental, the mind? The mind is also where a lot of emotions, that is where the emotions are trapped, right? Our state of mental clarity and our emotional trauma needs to be healed. We call that emotional intelligence as we raise that. And we raise that through different experiences, tools, that kind of stuff. And then the spirit part, body, mind, and spirit. Your spirit is your spirituality, your zone of you, your genius of who you are. You were born with a soul, and you are aligned as a human in the spiritual realm. So when you look at something like that, it forms a triangle: body, mind, and spirit. And I actually want to put the spirit up top, body, mind, and spirit. And so that, when it's activated, means everything's working together. Have you ever felt like your life is going really well, and all of a sudden you fall down and you break a leg? You're not quite in your awareness, in your Trinity, your body, mind, and spirit. Because when we're in our lit up or activated body, mind, and spirit connection, we are in our 5D. Now, are we in our 5D 24/7? No, we go back and forth from 3D to 5D, but mostly we try to stay in the 5D, in the elevated space, the alpha. Excuse me. So our alpha is up here, right? The higher energy, and most of humanity is down in beta. We don't want to be in beta. That's called by the indigenous of the Americas, land of the living dead. And so when you're in your human state and not experiencing your full body activation of body, mind, and spirit, you're not operating at the same level. So how do you get that spiritual awareness? So we've talked about body, we've talked about mind, and we've talked about spirit. So the same thing happens with each one that's not activated. Within the work of self-love, or the emotional intelligent work, which is part of self-love. So self-love is what you become. There are tools, self-care, emotional intelligence tools, trauma tools, body somatic tools, that work on each part of who you are to help support you to move through your human experience into a more elevated space of being. So if you're working on your spiritual, like we brought up, some people are like, I want you to feel like you are at the level that you want to be spiritually, because you are a spiritual being in this human experience on earth. So what does that mean? What I say is just a reference point, because everyone on earth was created and raised differently by our own experiences of our families or our communities or our tribal whatever connections. We are different than the person right next to us. We may be similar, but we're different. So everything has to be created through you. A lot of people come to healers and work to be healed by them. Let me share with you that a healing from somebody else supports your healing, but it does not support it unless you're aware that this is your job and you need to understand what they're doing to you. Does that make sense? You need to understand what's happening to you. Because if you're not, again, you're being off on another space. You're not fully activated. You're being unconscious. That's different than subconscious. Right? Subconscious is the framework of which all our memories are stored, all our information, our emotion, everything. And we can change our subconscious. We can make it more conscious by doing the work of shifting for what I'm going to call today the perfect trinity, the body, mind, and spirit activation. So in your spiritual awareness, one of the greatest things that you need to journal and discover about what you want is, what do you want? Do you want love? Do you want peace? This is in your whole being, your body, your mind, your spirit. One cannot do without the other because, again, we have this beautiful body. Some call it home, some call it temple, some call it the body. We have this beautiful body that houses our soul and our mind. So in support of each other, we need to stay on top of our work, our space, our education, our self-education of who we are. So in your spiritual awareness, realize what you want in your life. Write it down. Make sure that you're either doing the dream, believe, create process, you're sitting there quietly, asking the universe to help you get in touch with what you're feeling inside. Looking at the phone lines here, I see that there's a lot of people on here who have done the work. So great. What does that mean? That means you get up and you get back to your work when you've fallen off, or things have gotten slowed down for you and you don't feel quite as great as you want to. We forget as humans because of our subconscious, which has brought in all our knowledge since we were babies, since we were first here on earth. Everything gets stacked and layered. We talk about the onion, peeling it back to heal the heel. It's the same thing, but in reverse, right? Mud pies are being built with other people's awarenesses instead of our own that we're creating. So we need to clear that mind out, heal our emotions in order for us not to be afraid, for us not to have our body feel weak at times because our mental can't handle it. All you have to do is one thing at a time, get proficient at it, and keep moving. As you begin to elevate and your energy becomes more powerful, it can be beautiful, serene, happy, love-based, but when you feel that your power within you, your energy system, is where you want it to be, keep building, don't stop, keep building and supporting that level that you're at. There are so many different levels within us as we grow and move that we must be patient and loving and kind towards ourselves as we do this work. One of the things that seems so simple, almost like kindergarten, but once you think about it, it's like it's so simple, but then it's like, duh. It's not about making you feel bad. It's about making you understand your own awareness of who you are. So as we grow, we're clearing things away. If we stop doing that process, what's going to happen? You're going to remember how to do it, but you're not going to be we'll use the word athlete here. You're not going to be the athletic person. And we're not talking about the physical right now. We're talking about the emotional. You're not going to be as tuned up as an athlete if you let it go. and you might forget where you left off. And that's okay. You can always go back and pick up. This is not about scaring people into growth. It's not about torturing you or creating more chaos. It's about showing you that your body, mind, and spirit can truly be where and what you want. And if you've never experienced this, what I'm calling the activation of body, mind, and spirit, or the full activation of the Trinity, it's okay. And you can get there, but you must work through these spaces. Can you do 2 at a time or 3 at a time? Can you work on your body, your mind, and your spirit at the same time? Yes, you can. But I would suggest that you start out slow and be gentle, and not Mia and Lori are the greatest you. Tell me I have to do this. No, you know what you need to do because you have all the awareness in you. You may not know the tools until they come along, but you do have the intelligence to heal yourself. This is where we reach out. This is why people like Lori and I have the Greatest You Academy, or our group that we love to come in and talk, is to support you, to see those shifts and changes. But it has to be done at your awareness, your desire, your creating. I have always taught for the last 14 years that the first foundational space is about healing the emotional intelligence, the mind, because we can be physically in tuned. Our bodies could be beautifully fit, healthy, and all that. And yet, if our mind is not in place, we can create chaos in our life. We could have car accidents, we could fall, we could injure ourselves. So when you're aware and you're fully activated, when you're in the 5D, you're a few minutes or a few seconds ahead of everyone else. Here's an example how you can test this out in your own life. You're at a stop sign or a red light, not a stop sign, but a red light. You're sitting there, you've been doing your work, you know who you are, you're calm, you're at peace. And all of a sudden you see the light turn green. There's no cars coming on the other side because that's red. And nobody else is moving and you take off. That's because you're spotting that the light turned green a few seconds before everybody else. That's why sometimes you're aware that somebody is coming into your lane, your car lane, we're still in the car here, into your lane, and you can either move out of the way, honk at them, but you're aware of the energy before it's happening. So this kind of makes us also feel kind of magical. But look at your awareness. This is a very good place to test the 5D space within you. Another example of 3D and 5D that a lot of people have been experiencing. I've been experiencing this and aware of it for over 10 years, but sometimes you're in your 3D and this is simple. You're putting, you're doing the dishes, you're not even thinking, you're putting away stuff in the drawers, say a special spoon in the utensil drawer. And yet you can't find it the next day when you're in your 5D or elevated or whatever. You're like, where is that special spoon for my coffee or my lemon water or whatever you're doing? And you can't find it. And maybe you start to slip again and you find it 3 or 4 days later. I'm talking about in your awareness. And it's sitting right there in the drawer. And you're like, why didn't I see it? Because this is the concept and it makes sense. This is, you're putting it back in a different framework and a different energy level. And oftentimes you just don't see it. It doesn't get up, hide, and then pop back in by itself. It's an inanimate object. It's not going to do that. So it's us that is different. You know that you put that spoon away, but you can't find it. And then you find it. So play with these frameworks, these ideas of looking at your energy level of who you are. Playing in the 3D and 5D. Remember, we want to try to stay in the elevated, more 5D alpha space because that's more divine. That's the energy flow of natural instead of the human start and stop, start and stop. So understanding who you are and working through your body, mind, and spirit with intention is going to elevate you, is going to keep you at a higher space. Okay, great. So any questions on that before I go into the reading? Okay. Going to take Karen first because she's up at the top here on my screen. Okay. Yeah, 1, 2. Actually, let me take one for Karen first. Let me take one for the group, the entire group, our greatest you revolution. Okay, and then I'll come to you. Okay. And oftentimes we might find that the readings are similar because the universal energy is very similar. Okay. Ooh, I love this one. Okay. All right, everybody. I love Pele. She is powerful. I have a camera up there too. I'm sorry. I'm looking up above at the other screen. I have 2 screens here. Pele, divine passion. Be honest with yourself and what your heart's true desire is. So I'm going to read these, but I'm going to also give you the quick reading off of them. Astera, fertility. This doesn't mean that we're having babies per se. It's about creation as well. Doesn't mean you're having a baby. But it's basically about creation within the individual. It is a perfect time for you to start a new project, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Then the next one is Cordelia. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. So how I'm taking this is, what I'm seeing coming down is go outside means get outside yourself. You've been within your 3 years of we've been repressed by society for 3 years due to the pandemic and all the other stuff that came along. Go outside of yourself. I'm going backwards here on the reading process, but that's cool. This is about creation, whether it's of self, whether it's of a business, whether it's of new children. This is what is being brought forth now and through 2023. This is a beautiful now in 2023 reading. Pele, the divine passion. So this is telling you to get in touch with yourself, get to the 5D so that you understand creation. Everything has to be removed and gotten rid of in order for it to be reborn. Excuse me. So when we destroy and uncreate, that means that we remove so that there's nothing left and creation takes the place. So in here, you're seeing a volcano. So that's the perfect example of uncreating or destroying and uncreating is what the volcano does. It comes down, and as it destroys its path, imagine you're in Hawaii watching this, and as it comes down and it destroys its path, it's also building land, often into the ocean. And then from there comes new growth, comes new experiences, comes something different. And so destroying and uncreating doesn't mean that it has to be violent like a volcano or anything else in your own personal life. It's just showing you to remove so that you can start anew. Okay, now the next one is Karen. And I pull where I feel the energy calling me. Really interesting. So Karen, oh wow, this is too trippy. And what I do is I take the cards and I put them in and I break it apart and I put them in so they're not together. And then I shuffle them like 3 or 4 times. So you are in the creation mode, Karen. We got fertility again. We got Astera. That's beautiful. And then this is incredible. This is like one of my favorite cards too, because as you'll see, Dana, High Priestess, you and the divine, you have divine knowledge. They can help others through your spiritual teachings. And then you, through your energy, I drew the Cordelia Go Outside card. So get outside of yourself. You have a lot of birthing to do, creation. And you're also probably into the space of creating something. I wish we had more time to go into this, but take what you're doing and move it forward. Don't forget about your spiritual awareness, Karen. And definitely, this is not about, and it can be about going outside into nature, but it's basically about the recreation of yourself, getting outside of yourself, becoming something different, something new. Okay. Righty. Now the next one is PD. And the reason I use these cards are, I really like the gentleness and the divinity within them. Oh, ooh, nice. Okay. So we drew the Butterfly Maiden transformation. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings you great blessings. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. And also Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help instead of trying to do everything on your own. So if you have questions about this, any of you, when I'm going to put this up in the classroom, you can write on there and I'll go into it further. Do remember your cards though, please. And you can tell me I chose these ones and your name on your screen. And I will go back to that. So this is really beautiful because this one about bright future helps to calm the system of the transformations, letting you know that everything is in its divine right place and that you're fine. And also don't hold it all in. You're holding in way too much. You need to put it out, start to journal, start to think about other people that can support you, other methods, other people. Right. The next one, we're going to go to Metri. Like this one too. Okay, so the first one we drew is Sketchmet. Be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. Again, we pulled for a second time today, white Tara sensitivity. You're becoming increasingly sensitive, avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. At least I think this is from today. Been doing a lot of readings lately. I love this, and I also love it for you, Metri. Hathor, receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. Okay, so okay, so what I'm feeling, I feel that this is more an internal perception of the world, but also about business, is what I'm feeling. You're a smart, intelligent, so I had to wait and hear what was coming. You're a very smart, intelligent woman, and for the be strong, you definitely need to hold that awareness in you and don't allow extrapolating external things to take you from your vision and your commitment to self. Also out there, the world has been very harsh, very, very harsh. I don't know if you're feeling it right now, but it's asking you to go back inward. I don't want to say this, but I'm not sure if you've dropped any of your practices, but this is also why I'm hearing on the receiving. So one thing that's been very prominent in the work in December, especially, is I've noticed that a lot of people are drawing this Hathor receiving card. And I've worked with this year, this card. This is one of my favorites because receiving is really not the last level of self-love, because we never stop giving and shifting for ourselves. But receptivity is literally everybody on this phone line. You need to practice receiving, receiving, receiving good, receiving money, receiving energy, receiving love, receiving peace, receiving joy, receiving what you desire. And working with Hathor, or the concept of receiving, is opening up who you are and allowing everything to come forth to you. Remember, when you are receiving, to be aware of everything good that comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, rather than just everything comes to me. You don't want everything to come to you with ease, joy, and glory, because on the other side can be a negative aspect. When you're learning to receive, you must be aware that you are receiving good and what's right for you. But you got to put those words out to the universe, because you just don't want things from your other building. And Metri, this isn't just for you, this is for everybody. This is really for everybody, what I'm saying. You don't want to have all the other manifesting stuff or creation stuff or spouting off to the universe when you're mad to come through at that moment. You want everything good to come to you with ease, joy, and glory. So be very aware that you need that and that you desire that, because you'll get what you want, but it might have another aspect to it that's not as smooth. I experienced that earlier this year. One of my greatest manifesting was on a dime manifested, but I didn't ask for good, ease, joy, and glory. I was just like, bring it to me. So be aware that you have the ability, everyone, to create what you need and to have what you need. It's your divine right. I believe, and I was raised with the concept that divine love has met and always will meet every human need. So that means your needs are being met. But you have to be aware of that and call it in, which is part of receiving, right? Which seems to be the biggest thing for humans. No matter how amazing we are or magical we are at manifesting, we're not getting our full capacity if we don't work on receiving. Okay, now Amber. Amber. seems to be pulling me from this one side of the deck. Ooh, we drew 2 cards there, I think. I have my eyes closed, so. I'm going to just take the one that I felt that we're pulling from this side a lot. Okay. So if 2 come out, I just take it because and start over, doing the 4th card as number 3 because it's important. Oh, I love this draw. Okay. So Kali, endings and beginning. The old must be released so that the new can enter. So again, destroying and uncreating so that the new creation can come. Artemis, guardian, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. This is so beautiful. And this is one of my favorites too, and you'll see why. Ixchel, medicine woman, you are the channel for divine healing power. What's more beautiful than that? Irene, peace. There is no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. So this is really a very cool creation card because look what we have here. We have the new beginnings, right? So everything, its endings and beginnings has to end before it can begin. And then you've got the guardian watching you. That's the second one that was pulled. 2 of them were pulled at the same time, but they were placed separately on the computer. So don't be afraid of your of what you're stepping into. And then the Ixchel here, the medicine woman and peace. This is really powerful to support your journey that you're going on, that you're creating within yourself. So don't be don't leave your spiritual awareness behind. And know that you can have peace on this journey. And Amber and everybody, I'm talking to her with familiarity because she's a friend as well. So Amber, moving into peace is that space that you desire, and it's brought up in the cards. So why don't you meditate in on what peace is like for you and what you want it to look like? Because with this beginning or ending and beginnings, you've got this great journey coming up, and let's look at it as great instead of something negative, because it's not. It's how you're creating it, and you're protected by both the guardian. So what does that tell you? You're being watched. What are guardians? They're also angels, right? So you can call in anything that you want to support you. This goes for all of you too. And then the medicine woman, that's that shamanistic, that spiritual, that healer, that love. This is riding along with your journey. So how much more powerful can your journey be into you and beyond than with this? And then taking it with peace. So everybody, all your cards and the reading for today and everything that you learned during the card thing, utilize for yourself. You're here listening to each other's readings. You can take some of that. Oh, I like that, what Mia said. That piece right there feels right for me. Take it. Allow it to fill you and to be a part of who you are. Any questions before we say goodbye? Yes, Metri. Can you turn off your mute? Or did I have my,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I had my my little cursor over you and it was the hand. Sorry. Well, apparently I wanted you to speak, girlfriend.
no, I don't have any questions. What you said was spot on. And yeah, about receiving, that's my biggest challenge. Also, I something I realized was this, that, like all my life I've been feeling as if I didn't have support or lack of support. And it's interesting that I just realized that people do support me, but they support me to a point that is convenient to them. So in other words, like if I need $10, they'll give me one, even if they have the other 9. So, and that was upsetting. That discovery, that realization was very upsetting. And, but now I'm at a stage where I'm like, okay, I just have to be aware of this thing and just only allow people who truly support me, like fully support me, not,
Yeah.
truly and fully support me. So becoming like more selective and boundaries. Because
Yeah.
because I suffer from chronic fatigue, so
Mhm.
and it's getting better, but then if I don't take care, I just lose energy. So just focusing more on that, and then doing a lot of inner work. I'm rebranding also, so yeah, it's all. I feel like I'm on the right track now.
Yeah. I took a picture. I was trying to, oh, here it is. I'm going to have you guys read it. It says, sis, the higher you, the higher your vibe is, the smaller your tribe is. Whoops.
Oh, that's so true.
So that, whoops, that's okay. You guys heard it. Sorry, my phone wants to show you everything. So literally, as you're working through stuff, you're removing energies of people that they can't support you. And especially in the last 4 years, that's been so the Lionsgate that opened in 2016, August 8th. We literally, or actually it was in I think February, and then it was through to the 8th, which is the actual Lionsgate opening. So there's a beginning process. This is all about this time in the spiritual realm and the human is to pull apart things that do not support us, people especially, and they leave our life. So don't be afraid of that, because then you ask the universe, show me, bring me my sisters or my sisterhood or my girlfriends, bring me my mate. You ask the universe for what you want, guys. And so this is how we remove and we bring in. I loved what you said, Metri. Thank you so much. Okay, any more questions or anything? Thank you for your statement, Metri. All right, everybody, have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next week. Tomorrow we do have a talk. It's Talk Tuesdays, and it's on the same link, and it is at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, all right, talk to you later. Thank you.